Hello and welcome to Trains in Viettic. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody who took part in my competition. I will respond to your emails you sent. I've just been busy this week with it coming up to the end of the term for uni. So I've been doing uni stuff. Today, you see, I got a parcel in front of me. This is not just one sound chip. This is two sound chips, and they're the new Locksound 5s. So in this episode, we'll be making the enclosures, then we're going to be updating the firmware on the ECOS, because I have seen that some people have been having trouble with the old version of the software, so I'm going to update it before I even put these on the layout. Then you'll see me installing these into the two trains, which will be one of my SEPs. I think I'm going for the blue SEP, and my class 170, which is the Southwest training one. So we'll get onto that later. So now for the titles. So, I want to say thank you to Lego Man Biff. He done me a very good job. If you look on Iron Web, you see all the sound projects he does, and he was saying how many projects he had after the Wally show. So these come with a new speaker. I have an 8-pin one, and then a 21-pin one. So you've got this lovely new speaker set up, and you need to build one of these boxes to go around it. And as I've got two speakers, I got two of these boxes. I've been told to use PVA to create these, so we're going to get on with that. Once I made this, we'll then go up into the attic and update the ECOS, as I need to leave the glue to dry on this. This is the new baffle bots that come with the ESU Locksound 5. You can make it whatever height you want, so you cut off as many as you need. This is one which I just made earlier. I've glued it together, and then I have just coated it with PVA just to seal it properly. Then the last bit will be to place a speaker in it. But the nice thing with this is you can make it as high or as low as you need. So to create it is pretty simple. Get your snips and cut everything off the spurs. As these are nice side cutters, I won't need to do any trimming. So you just go through and just clip them all off. That got a little bit of a spur on. Then you decide how big you need your baffle to be. So that guy, try to get this to focus on that. So that's the minimum you can have. You just stack it up till you get to what you need, and then you just use a bit of plastic glue just to hold it together. And then finally you just seal it all with a little bit of PVA, just to make it all soundproof. So once I made this one up, I'll then go to the ECOS. We're back to these base boxes. You can see they've now been fully assembled and sealed. That just got a little bit of glue left to dry. So the last bit with them is to just attach your speaker on top. Make sure to do this very carefully, and then that's your speaker done. So this need to be done with this type of speaker so that you get the best sound out of it. So next you'll see me playing with the train, so you can see how easy that go on. I'll just put a dab of glue on both of them just to hold them in place. Make sure to keep it away from anything metal because it's a very strong magnet, and make sure not to solder near it as that will affect the magnet of it. So the next thing I'll do is I'll bring the locos onto the table and we can fit these. This one I'll be using a harness so that it can actually connect to everything nicely on the loco, so I can swap the decoder if ever needed. And then for the other one, which is a 21 pin one, I can just plug directly in. So next job I'll show you will be wiring up the harness on the class 170 and fitting the speaker. These are the locos which will be chipped, which is a class SEP, and then the Southwest Trains 170. This one I need to install this into so that I don't need to hardwire the chip in future. I also need to make a few changes to the way the lights are wired because they got to Express model a lighting kit installed, and I just want it to be a simple forward backwards where it's currently 2 forwards 2 backwards set on it. So that's going to be that bit, but I'll bring those down to my desk in a minute. But we're going to look at the eCourse once the computer's updated. On the eCourse, I think it's that button. No, it's not. It's that button. No, it's not. It's that button. And if you go into setup 3, you can see the hardware and software version, which you can see hardware version is 2, software version is 4.22. Then you've got a few other bits, so I need to upgrade it to the latest version. So we'll swap across to the active computer in a moment, and then I'll be able to show you the upgrade procedure. Before I have done this, I have backed it all up so that if anything goes wrong, I'm not too bad off. So we'll now go to the computer. So the first thing you need to do is go on to www.esu.eu. Then you need to log in to access the files. Then you click on download, click on firmware and software, then you click on the eCourse / Central Station Reloaded, and then you click on that one there, you click on the download button, it come up with all the terms and conditions, then you click download. You don't have to do this bit on your train computer, but the next bit you will need to. So you now got a zip file down there. I'll take that file and put it on the desktop and minimise the web. I don't have WinZip on this, so I always do open with Window Explorer and then extract all, and then it creates a new folder on the desktop. And you have what's been updated and then the actual file. So if you open that, it's say edit features for Locasound 5. I'm doing this before I've even put the new chips in these, because I know that one YouTuber had issues with the decoders on the last version of the software. So now I got that done, I'll go back to the web browser and go onto the address of my eCOS, which is that one there. Your address will be different, you can find that on your eCOS. So once you enter your eCOS, you get this lovely menu. You click on firmware update, you click on choose file. As I got it on the desktop, I go into desktop, and it's that one there. Double click on that, and then send. Then you'll get, it's now saying uploading, and then we'll go and get some bits happening on the eCOS. So I'll quickly move across to the eCOS once this is doing its bit. So you can see uploading going on down there. And now we have moved across to the eCOS, and it's now saying, please wait, updating software, do not unplug. So you've got to make sure that you keep the eCOS powered on. You can't do anything at this point, and then it will do this for a little while. You now got extracting showing on the screen, and you've got the same thing showing on the PC screen. As you can see, copy file, extracting, and they're both showing exactly the same. Then you have another command coming up, but it's good to see this going on. I'll come back to you once it's all done, because this could take a little while. I've now got the eCOS updated. The computer say firmware update OK rebooting. So if I just refresh the computer, it will show me all the latest information. And then if I click on that screen, you can see I'm running 4.2.5, which is the latest version. And to find the network address which you need, you just click on setup one, then click on the IP, and it's the top address there. So this is now all set up. So what you do gain as the first thing is you gain up to function 31, and the other thing you gain is the ability for the system to know about the Locasound 5s. So this will mean when I bring the locos up here to put them back on the track, the system will know what they are, and everything should work fine. So I'll shut everything down and we can go back downstairs. This is a driving car for my forcep unit, and to get into it I'll be using these things which are from iFixit, and they call them guitar picks, and they're a really useful little tool. You just slide it in, if you do it on both sides like so. They're plastic, so they don't do any harm to the loco, but you just push them along and they unclip it for you. So once I got this shell taken off, I'll show you the inside. So this is the decoder. It's a 21 pin Batman with a nasty habit of resetting itself. So you've got that space just there for the decoder. One thing you will notice is there isn't a Pacific Spaceforce speaker in this model, but to me that's not really a major issue. So on this you've got one pin which is blocked off. So you just place it on there, push it down, and that's the chip installed. I'm going to just place the speaker there, and then we just put the top back on. And then I use the same method as before, just to put the sides on. There is a method to it, but I've never really worked it out. So next time you'll see this is on the track. So I'll go up into the attic in a moment and we can put it on the track and see what happens. I've set up a programming track because it's just madness to put a newly chipped train on the main line. So I'll put the loco on the track, and you can see straight off there's information about it. So my new address for him will be 1308. And then we press tick. So we should now be able to choose him. So if we go into single and click on that, we got our new loco. And you can also see that all the functions are showing there. So I'll turn on his lights, and that works. So turn on for sound, and he's gradually booting up. And we can see he's working. If I give him a bit of power, we should see him start to move. And yes, he is moving. And then turn him off, and he have stopped. So I'm now going to click on the edit thing, edit loco, and we have all the information about him. So we got all the properties, and then we can read the loco and see what he say. So if the update was done properly, it should know that it's a lock sound 5, and you can see it say that. And we're getting all the information downloaded into the ECOS. So I always recommend doing this whenever you get a new loco, especially if it's an ESU loco, because it have a database of all the functions and everything. So this will now assign all the function keys and everything. It does take a little while. You can see where about the green line is, and you will hear some weird noises from the loco. I'll just put the mic by it. That's because the motor's just pulsing to go in feedback for information. As when the loco's on the programming track, the way it actually gives the information back is by sending feedback along the pulse, along the wire. So each time it gets sent to command, it then sends back a pulse, and the programming track is detecting the pulse on the backwards. I'm not 100% sure how it worked technically, but that's roughly what it does. So what I'll do is I'll leave this going, and then we can install the second chip on the 170. This installation is going to be a little bit harder, as I'm going to wire this harness in first. And I've got this guide from a DCC concept of the wiring pins, and I've got my soldering iron, so let's undo this and see how big a job I got for myself. First thing I need is a screwdriver, and undo that one screw there. Which feel like it's not actually doing anything. There we go. Then I'm going to use my picks again. For such a nice thing, and don't do any damage to the loco. So just insert them and run along for the loco. And at the moment I got this arrangement, so that's actually quite useful, as I can then work from this to put in the new configuration. So I'll put you to one side while I'm resoldering everything. And for those who are wondering, just there is my light board for it. So if you come back in a while, actually I'll come back to you in a while, and then we'll have this on working. I've now wired in the harness. You can see the light board's just there, and then the connections are just there. This is the chip I showed you earlier. This is the 8-pin chip. So first thing I need to do is, for 2 bare wires, I just need to put a little bit of tape over them so that they don't short on anything. So I've got a nice piece of electrical tape. Stick one inside that. Then put the other one on top and fold it over. My next job will be to mount the decoder, which I have some sticky pads somewhere. Where did I stick them? Which I'll stick just there, and then I'll put the speaker just in there. So where did I stick everything? I'm very good at putting stuff away safely and then never remembering where I stuck it. So I'll attach this. Now then, the last thing I'll do is line this up. I'll just put it in. So that should be ready to go. So this is the new sounds and lights on it. So just a quick change, anti-change direction, bit of power, anti-well move off. But stop that for the time being. And we've got the sound. And I believe it's 19 I'm after. If you noticed, that was the correct announcement for this train. So thank you, Lego Biffman, for doing that. And on the ending on that, I'd like to say thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you all next week. Thank you very much, Richard.